Hey, you guys. Okay, so here's something I want to talk about. I was watching a very interesting podcast um, talking and discussing questions about the narrative of behavior and cognitive dissonance, right? Talking about somebody that has behavior issues. So they may have PSTD, they may have CPSTD, they are dealing with borderline between NPD, narcissism, and then borderline of also personality disorders, being victimized, right, as a child, as in adolescence, right? And then from being victimized, they then went into adulthood where now they are telling everyone don't play the victim because actually they're the victim, right? Where their brain has not developed clearly because of something they've been through, some trauma, and that maybe they are not actually a narcissist. They have some narcissistic traits, but they may be schizophrenic. They may have personality disorder, tons of different personality. And although I don't like the box, and although I don't like labels, we're just discussing psychology here so that it makes complete sense. So what I want to explain to you, you see this picture right here, right? So you've got the fruit, right? You've got the fruit, you've got the shake, and then you have the glass. Now, when a child is born, and a child is born into toxicity and into trauma and into stress, this is the glass that's breaking the camel's back, basically. It's breaking the camel's back. So psychologically, the two sides here of your cortex, of your vertebrae here. So here you have your vertebrae, and then these two sides here are your entire cortex, right? Your brain stems have cognitive understanding. So like touch a pen, touch coffee, right? You're touching the coffee, you're touching a pen. So it's the cognitive, it's your motor skills. Now, let's say you were born, so you've got this here, you've got the shake, right? You've got the smoothie, the fruit. So your mom, when she had you in her womb, you're developing eating fruits, maybe vegetables, healthy food, because that's the way a pregnant woman would want to eat. There are certain things she doesn't want, but she definitely wants folic acid in her body, right? Okay. Now, with given what I just said about the two sides being the emotional, right? In the back here, now sometimes my scalp breaks out because I'm dealing with spiritual warfare, and this is just the truth. Or I'm dealing with changing my diet, or changing people that are around me. Maybe businesses change, whatever it might be. Maybe my hair starts to fall out. This is all new growth here. See, this is all new growth, right? Now, my son had to be stitched here with some memory loss for a while. And I'm bringing this up because these are the emotional sides, okay? If your emotions from a child up through adolescence was not cared for, was not loved, was not given tenderness, compassion, empathy, that child does not know how to respond, right? With hugs, with love. Now, you see this, and I don't even like to use this word. I usually say grand rising. I usually say royal rising. But look at this. So it says, good morning, aren't born, they're brewed. Do you know how close that sounds like good morning? Children aren't born, they're groomed. Groomed is different than raised. So here in the back where your skull is, right, where your vertebrae, you've got your discs, you've got your C4s, C3s, C2s, you have all your disc, and your vertebrae is here, right, that connects to the spine. When you're looking at something like this, if your emotions cannot cognitively understand that children need love, you're going to look at them like, good morning, because mourning is to basically mourn death, right? You're not eating the solid foods. You're not eating the good healthy foods, right? Because you're not eating those healthy foods. Oh, they aren't born. Okay, so the coffee's not born, it's brewed, right? You're brewed to have a good day. That's what they're telling you. Without a coffee, you're not going to have a good day. Some may say, I only want a smoothie. I only want fruit. I don't want that, right? So what happens is, right, you're taking a sip, right? Maybe you're eating something else. Maybe you're still eating that fruit, right? I'm going to give you the prime example. So you're washing this on your skin, but it's not rinsed, so it's not clean, right? Then you have here your lip balm, right? You have the lip balm, and the lip balm, friend of the family made, healthy, right? Great for your lips, right? Can clean all of this area of your skin, right? So you're doing all these natural things, right? But instead of having a pretty good cup of coffee, you come back in after you've done all that good healing. So when a child is in the womb, they're growing, everything's basically doing what it should do. Then you have somebody come along who doesn't love you, gives birth to you because maybe she was raped, some molesting happened her whole life, she was abused, she was used, and now she's grooming that child. She's grooming, getting that child to brew with anger, toxicity, right? Maybe the child was dropped at a young age, like slammed down. And please, viewer discretion is advised, okay? And that child has trauma to the brain. That child has trauma to the brain. So now in the back here, their cerebral is not functioning correctly. So that the skull, and this would just be the surface, right? The surface part of your skull takes regular information. So you've got the emotions, you've got the back here that have to do, so you've got the emotions on the side, the surface, the cortex, you've got the back here that deals with, and I'm sorry, I apologize, the connecting of the dots, basically, right? Then the front here, in the front, right? This whole frontal lobe, the frontal lobe, okay? That frontal lobe right there that some people have had removed. Unfortunately, people have done some sick and perverse satanic type rituals to have things removed, right? So they had this removed, okay? And that is the heart of the matter. So it's not just like if your head was skinny or something of that sort. It's you're not thinking about writing, right? You're not thinking about the pen, pick up the pen, write, look at something, right? So the back here is all photograph. It's all pictures. It's photography. So when you have someone who has behavior issues, they have behavior issues. And in the back here are their eyes, basically. Their eyes connects here. A lot of people say pineal gland, but really the eyes connect to back here as well. If they don't see that you're healthy, they see that you're trying to throw rocks through their glass house because they're hollow inside. They cannot accept love. They're toxic. They have trauma. They've had things actually happen to their brain stems. So maybe they had surgery here. Maybe they were cut open with a surgeon. Had something wrong with their brain. And then they emotionally, right? They emotionally have no good sense. Maybe common, but it's not good sense. They bring all that trauma into a relationship as an adult, with having children, friendships, associates, partnerships, colleagues. All of these related issues happen. And because they've happened, they don't allow their heart, right? Their heart to affect their brain so that they come together. And the cerebral area here, right here, so you just, right? You're keeping mindset, you're photographing back here, you're writing down the things that are important. for your mind to clearly resonate with what needs to take place, right? They're not cognitive connectors. The dots are not being connected. And that causes disruption, disorders, trauma bonding. I personally have seen this and been around and in this, dealt with it, personally dealt with my entire life existence here on this walking land. So the question is, do dog owners use their animals as codependents that have been abused? That could be yes. That does not mean everyone, but majority of the masses do rely on their pets. And some of these people who were half codependent now are harsh and have become narcissists. Remember, the narcissism is the actual demonic side. That's of the devil, because he was the first narcissist. Okay, he created that narcissism. The narcissistic person has a lot of emptiness because when they were young, they allowed personalities and different identities, different clothing of someone else. Like maybe they'll wear this way, they'll put over their head. They'll do all these different things. And they're not actually dealing with the main issue. They're on the surface level. So it's surface here, right? The skull, it's the surface. They're only scratching the surface of their problems. And I have personally seen a lot of dog owners that are abusive in real life. I'll give you an example. I worked on a project recently. The trainer came into the room that I was in, began to mourn, she said, feeling sad for her roommate who her cat died. Her dog. Yeah, the dog, next door neighbor dog killed the cat. They had been having issues back and forth, right, for a while. Just one moment. Side note, there's ginger in here and some turmeric. Or in this one, there's ginger. And some raw sugar and some cream. Half and half. So continuing with the story. She was saying she wanted to get married again, and my body literally had like a reaction, thinking, women or men? She'd been married to a man. Sounded like she really was either jealous or had feelings maybe for her roommate. Story goes on that she decides to express to me how she wanted to get another cat for this woman. You know, it's like they got along, there was no problem, right? Now, I'm going to just tell you, it's like opening your car door and having a key or starting it with the ignition, right? Turning the key into the door is going step by step, explaining things, right? And saying, okay, this is the process, right? The process is let's get a cat first. So I'm telling her you could adopt a cat. You can go to PetSmart. You can do these such a things. They do give shots and so forth. And they're $200. 2 weeks goes by. This trainer comes back and she's back from vacation. I ask about this cat. She then says, yeah, my roommate, well, she'll buy the cat, not me. But she acted as though she wanted to do this nice gesture, right? She had empathy, right? Compassion. No, that was just the show, the mask. The mask started to come off. And the reason why the mask started to come off is I said, oh, you're not going to go ahead and get the cat. She's like, she was just having a bad day. She's like, She says, oh no, she's going to get the cat. It's her responsibility. My roommate, anyway, all she does is sit at home. She works remote anyway. She doesn't have to get up and go to work. I'm always telling her, come down and do the dishes. It was like her narcissism fully came out right in front of me. And I'm thinking, wow, this is what a lot of us experience. The outward appearance is, you're my partner, we're engaged, or you're my husband, right? Or you're my wife, right? Because I believe in only heterosexual. Or a friendship or a family member, if things great, they get on the phone, they gossip about you, right? They're talking about you. And at the whole time, just like this point here is just constantly nudging at your emotions, right? And in the back, you're seeing the things that are going through your mind that you think are happening behind your back. And all the while, these things are happening and you're being traumatized. You're going through a toxic situation. At the same time, when we see this happen, especially in the work environment, imagining, yes, some dog owners are kicking their dogs in the house, but outside they're picking up their poo. They're, oh, how precious and furry, and rubbing them, right? That's how those same type of individuals treat us. Now, I believe the Heavenly Father gives us just right to be loving. He teaches us to be loving. And I'm telling you, for this last fight, especially for Chosen, for those who are trying to live the best life they can in this hell, basically, on earth, without us, without the salt, without the love, without the light, it would be a very dark place. And we continually try to give light and joy and brightness in a world that is full of chaos and this, like, constantly stabbing somebody and not dealing with back here what they see, the photographs that stay in their mind. And when you tell someone, hey, I really am not interested in your perverse ways. I really don't want that in my mind, because even though I see here in the back, I'm seeing cheating, adultery, I'm seeing people being homosexual, I'm seeing people hurt people, I'm seeing toxicity, I'm seeing all those things. And just like a pen has different parts to it, right? And you take it on, you undo it and everything, right? It's still a pen, but there's different parts to that pen that allow someone to write. And like I said, it's the same thing with this right here, this caption. So you wake up and you're like, oh my goodness, I need to eat well. I need to be doing the things that are right. The problem is, unless someone is willing to heal, it does not matter how much they mask over, they pretend. They have all their animals in the house and their gadgets and their pens and their pencils and stationery and all these things they want. This facade they live. They're not working on the mind. And the mind, all of this, the cortex has to deal with the heart. It has to come together as one. And only through the love of Christ, only joy of truth and light will help that person heal. Some were born with drugs in their system, right? Their mothers. And I'm not just saying, this is not a mother's blast. This is not mother's faults. I'm not putting the blame all on women, because obviously they received a seed for the offspring from the man. There's DNA. There's bipolar issues. There's so many things going on, and trauma. And it has to start from the heart. Okay, so the mental clarity and everything, yes, you have a mind, but if the mind is all messed up, the mind has been sucked back like this and it's skinny, and the child went through all this trauma during childbirth, the childbearing stage, they're trying to heal. It's a process. It's a process. It's a process. We cannot heal, and only the Most High, only the Heavenly Father can save. Only true love can save. But Clarity will keep you going. And for some of us who have come through the healing stage, who have avoided wanting to ever be a narcissist, who have went through different issues with identity and people trying to steal that, and making some of us codependent, and then we come out of the codependency and we're completely independent, and then we just come back to love and who we truly are. And we've worked through all of the sadness and the voices in the head and the things that have taken place over all the trauma, and we've seen it, and we teach others, right? We've walked that walk, because I've actually walked through this to be able to teach others. It is a travesty if someone's not willing to heal, because they've got to heal here. Without healing inside, they cannot heal the wounds outside to everyone else, what everyone else sees. If they're not willing to hear truth, if they're not willing to do research, if they're not willing to be outside the box and look within the light and find out that their spirit has a problem, there's no healing. There's no healing involved. This is a fine line, I'm telling you. I'm literally telling you, there was the movie Fine Line Between Love and Hate. I'm telling you, this is love and war. This is war. For myself, I'm dealing with a certain issue, and I'm telling you, there's so much love, but it is a strong part of love and hate for the behavior, not hate for the person. Dealing with it with my children on different levels, what they're experiencing and dealing with in life. Marriage, friendships, associates, people I've worked with or for, customers, employees, Zoom meetings I have, meeting up times, seeing how people are in person, trying to lie, have a mask when they talk to me, and I just peel that mask right off, right in the meeting. And they have to accept I'm here. This is who I am. I'm authentic. I'm not ordinary. I'm peculiar. But I could see past it. I could see through you. So we have to help people rise up, and at the same time, we have to take care of ourselves. You see that sunlight? It's trying to peek through those clouds because this world is dark. I'm telling you guys, this is a rough one. Can exasperate. I'm exhausted, didn't get a lot of sleep. I have to keep my energy up, so I'm going to drink my coffee. I had my breakfast burrito with just potatoes and eggs. There was salsa. I had an onion, scallion. I chewed on some salsa, some healthy tomato salsa, little ketchup and hot sauce. It was a flour tortilla, but it was wheat, which was, wheat I'm not really for, but it's more on the wheat side than the white flour, but I would have liked a grain, but it is what it is. It's a drive-through. Drink my coffee, keep my chapstick on, keep praying for truth, like stretch and just get through it. We have to keep rising up, because I'm telling you, if we don't rise up, we don't help teach others and help heal. Because believe me, the dark masses are really trying to take over. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining me. Hope this has been a blessing and been some kind of healing to you. If you're interested in a Zoom meeting, if you want to Skype, if you want to talk, if you want to email, if you're wanting to get into one of my courses, right now I'm dealing with the winter blues. It's something I actually am very familiar with and have experienced. I'm going to talk to you about which herbs and vitamins to get on. The brain exercises like this, massaging here, stretching, all of that. Keeping your mouth brushed, your tongue brushed, and also Listerine. Breathing in and out, right? Having color on, some brightness, smiling, real smiling, making sure you're getting your water intake. You got to get that water intake. You're thinking of positive things like fruits and vegetables and soups you want to make for the winter. Because if not, these dark masses, these people, these narcissistic, bipolar, schizophrenic folks, unfortunately, it's just happened. They haven't been able to fully heal. They might just be on medicine that have side effects that are anger issues and whatever else. They'll try to lie to a lot of us, but we see through it, right? We have eyes here that sees the window of souls. We have eyes here that keeps pictures of every memory and everything that's going on. There's compartments. So we're storing that. So just saying, if you're interested in having a one-on-one self-evaluation and help to get through this, whether it be yourself dealing with it or a relationship you're wanting to get out of because of it, or try to heal in a marriage if you're married to a narcissist or a bipolar individual that just has a lot of manic depressive or anxiety, toxicity you're going through, whatever it is, emailing. I have a sliding scale. So send me an email. I'm also on LinkedIn, so send me an email at healthybeautygg@gmail.com. I will also be probably putting this video on there as well. So thank you so much for joining me today. That being said, have a good middle of the week.